Welcome, folks, back to the Contenders Summer Series co-stream on the Sheercold channel. We are here with Sheercold versus 04-Dash, with Sheercold coming off of a 2-3, actually, against their opponent's Pitbull Storm. So not the greatest result for them there, but they made it close, and now they're against the 05 team, 04-Dash, which is not going to get confusing at all throughout the game. But yeah, they've lost their first game of today in 3-0 fashion, unfortunately for them, against Yeah. But hopefully they can pull it back here potentially. Look at their history here. It's quite the sad story for 04-Dash.
Yeah, one thing I would say, if you're a fan of Sheercold, and obviously you probably would be tuning in, very, very close loss to Pitbull Storm and all the way to a map 5. But considering the difference between Sheercold and Pitbull was basically 0, 04-Dash basically losing in a clean 3-0 should give you confidence if you're a Sheercold fan. But bigger upsets have happened. I'm sure Sheercold will be able to hold the mental together. It's just about looking to get back on track now. You've got 1 win so far in 4. Hopefully trying to make that 2 out of 6 and then build from there. But I mean, looking at the rest of Sheercold's schedule, you've still got to play EXO, and Twisted Minds. So that's not going to be fun. But honestly, I just wish Sheercold the best of luck. Sometimes you just have to say, good luck in esports. We're getting a different map 1 though. And Sheercold really showed us a high aggressive tempo, rush composition built around Ramatra and built around Sombra in this first series against Pitbull Storm. And Toasty, I see no reason why they can't bring it out again here under these amazing, gorgeous northern lights, and hopefully just try and roll 04-Dash over. Interesting enough to note, long-time veteran, former tank player Shao, who's been on Paris Eternal, HSL Esports, and which team was it before that? Eternal Academy, HSL Esports, and CIS Hope. That was it. That's such an old team. So any old heads in the chat will remember Shao used to be a DPS player, then went to off tank and is now back on DPS. So we've come full circle. But luckily for Sheercold, the results haven't been the best. 04-Dash coming out on this Winston-based composition. Finally, Toasty, we get to see how this matchup goes, and if my knowledge is at least somewhat accurate, especially with the aggression that Sheercold are playing, Sukrats and Haku are in for not a lot of fun because they might just get run over by NKZ and Sodjul.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened last match, so we'll see exactly what happens here as 04-Dash already having Lukestar get pressured out. By the way, might I add, Shao is the tank player and Lukestar is the DPS player. They've swapped roles for this. I'm not entirely sure if that's a plan or if that is just a moment of, spur of the moment thing. Not sure. But Lukestar on the Winston already getting chunked down just in every single engage they try and go for. As Sheercold start taking up the point. Naku going to get pressured out on the off angle here by Condi, but will end up forcing Condi away with that translocator. And 04-Dash can't really get a proper engage through, as Lukestar's finally going to jump into the backline, but the Nemesis form going to pummel Lukestar back to where they came from. Condi will fall. Lukestar almost getting chunked down, but somehow staying alive. That's thanks to the support line there, as Trey's going both ways, but Sheercold need to back off a little bit, give up some space, because Lukestar is full HP and ready to go.
Yeah, and luckily for them, though, NKZ and Zodjul are still alive, so that's going to be all the pressure that they need. This Winston should just be getting blitzed by both of them. Shao falls, and Sheercold have the numbers once again over in this fight. Remember, Sheercold still have cap of the point, already 33%.
Yep, and Sheercold are actually going to continue winning the team fight here, as Lukestar couldn't get a proper primal rage through. Not even able to bat the backline around, as a pulse bomb will be utilized late in the team fight. Not quite necessary from 04-Dash in a 2v5, but there we go.
A really messy fight from 04-Dash. The worst thing you can do on control is lose slowly. That's exactly what they did. They gave the point for free because they realized, I'm fine with them not fighting on point for free, because they realize if they do, they just lose with this Winston against the Ram composition. Aggressive goes in, and Sheercold have already found 2. Yeah,
I mean, that was just a quick Blossom fight with a Nemesis form. There's literally nothing you can do against that if you're 04-Dash. You don't even have a sound barrier or Suzu or anything to prevent that.
No, absolutely nothing. And 04-Dash, it's time to make changes. 73% on the board, and still ticking up. 04-Dash yet to find a fight win. I believe they've gotten a limb or 2. And hopefully you would think Lukestar on this Junker Queen will be able to get something, but into Sombra Reaper and Ramatra in particular, I think this Queen's going to have a tough time at keeping her passive up.
EMP is traded out here by both squads, but that Annihilation from Sheercold should be able to clean things up, as 1 kill already comes through there onto Haku with both supports down for 04-Dash. It is looking bleak Great pull there from the knife from Lukestar, but it doesn't matter, because guess what? Sheercold are aware of it. They peel back, they kill off Lukestar, and now there's no chance for 04 Dash to turn that one around. The overtime burns away, and that is a pretty clean first point here for Sheercold. Just got to clean things up as Haku comes in for a last-minute contest.
Sheercold just demonstrating a great understanding of their composition and the enemy's composition. They realize that, hey, 04 Dash, if you dare go in range of Zodjul and MKZ, you're going to get absolutely obliviated. And that's exactly what happened. 04 Dash just could not fight them. And they bled so much time. The percentage that Sheercold were able to accrue for free was ridiculous. Take on top of that the fact that Zodjul was able to find that really quick fight with just a Death Blossom in the tight room that 04 Dash was staging on. And, you know, Lutestar and co. didn't really get to play. Lutestar, I think, swapped Jump Queen at about 70% and then landed like 2 or 3 cooldowns was all they were able to get before the round was already over. 04 Dash have to change it up. They are going to get a chance to, and they're going to stick on Tracer Sombra, but with J Queen as well. But for Sheercold, once again, I think they found their targets, and it is going to be Lutestar and Haku. They've been really focusing this Brigitte of 04 Dash. And if you are Sucrax and Lutestar, you've got to do a better job at helping Peel and keep this Brig alive for as long as possible, because she's falling so early.
Good early hack comes through down to Sucrax. It actually makes 04 Dash play a bit more passively, which Condi always likes, helps them get set up in position for an engage. And NKZ is just fine to sit on the point, scout around for Shao on the Sombra, and just going to go for the engage onto the backline now. Sucrax walks a bit too far forward, not knowing there's a speed boost in play for Sheercold, and now it is just about pummeling the opposition until they fall over. Lukestar going to get caught on the side here as well with the help of a hack from Condi. And despite all that, the point still wasn't capped, so Sheercold kind of wasting a bit of time here for 04 Dash.
They're going to get a bunch of ultimate charge for it, though. At least Shao is going to contest the point for a second, but they're just going to fall away. This is the classic Ramatra fight. If you dream of being able to play the perfect fight, it basically was that for NKZ and co. Sucrax falls early, NKZ pops the Nemesis form just to take them down. Condi buying so much time as well, and buying resources too. Means 04 Dash are always fighting down cooldowns, down HP, and Sheercold are just more than happy to clean them up afterwards with it. Sheercold not the most to their DPS ultimates, but they've got Coalescence ready to go here.
Oh, Coalescence gets slept though, as LP's going to just dive into the backline anyway. He gets woken up, fades into the back, helps to find Sucrax now as Flip has come through from 04 Dash. Going to be seeing if Sheercold can take this one back as Lukestar gets hacked around the side, going for a little bit of a flying, going to go for that rampage as well, but nothing found by it at all. No anti whatsoever, no bleed to be had, and Lukestar wastes an ult, dies off, and now it's going to get flipped back over into Sheercold's favor. That was really not the best team fight for 04 Dash.
It's a disaster for 04 Dash. They find NKZ early. Lukestar tries to push the tempo with the rampage. Once again, I don't mind the investment of the ultimate, but the target priority was just so poor from Lukestar. I'm going to have to say it. Sorry, you knew the Reaper still had Wraith form, whereas at least coming up offline it was not tracked. That was his only target, and then he just faded out of it. And from there, Lukestar is in, no way out, no passive up from that bleed, and just easy free picking. Sheercold have got a wealth of ultimates now, and only really need 2 fights.
Good EMP there, finds Sucrax before a beat can even come out from Haku as well. So 04 Dash might want to reset, but they have found LP. Lukestar still gets caught out on the side though, falling early in a lot of these team fights I am noticing, probably due to the lack of having that honor there to keep them up, however. And a beat from Streba, bit of a panic beat I suppose, since they were winning the fight, but it's insurance.
It was just to respond to the EMP, I think, that came out from Shao. It was a scary scenario. If Condi or NKZ would have fallen, there might have been potential for 04 Dash to come back. But once again, it's just the insurance policy. Sheercold very willing to commit the sound barrier there, knowing there is no immediate threats from 04 Dash on board that absolutely require a sound barrier. To say that, though, NKZ falls so low here.
Okay, bit of a wraith into the backline here from Zodjul as well, chasing down Sucrax alongside NKZ. They don't care about the point right now. They are just destroying the backline. I mean, Haku and Sucrax both go down here now as Streba wins the duel against their counterpart. And a Death Blossom just to make sure no one else touches a Sheercold. Very clean 2-0 on Antarctica.
Yeah, so clean, particularly this last fight. More than happy to punish the mistakes that 04 Dash are frequently making. And playing these fights decently clean, I will say. There is angles and opportunities for 04 Dash to come back in these, don't get me wrong. Like, Ilpi is falling, NKZ is getting pressured very, very much to 1 HP. You think another headshot, a bit more target fire, one anti-nade that can land, but I think once again here we are seeing the plight of the Ana player against the Ramatra composition. We saw it in map 1 for Pitbull Storm. We're seeing it for map 1 here for O4 Dash. If you play Ana, particularly as well as the Brig, can't really shield the Ramatra pummel, because it's just going to go through that Nemesis form, piercing the barrier, going straight onto the Brig and on the Ana, so the cleave damage can be massive. Condi frequently getting hacked in the backline as well to just disrupt, buy attention, draw that resource away, and split up O4 Dash. And O4 Dash are getting split in these neutral fights anyway, even more so by just a single hack from Condi. It cannot happen. Really comfortable for Sheer Cold here. I just think O4 Dash are going to need a little bit of a compositional change, but they've got 2 more maps to at least try and figure out how to do it. I guess they can lose 1 more map technically, but it's not completely over yet. And one thing they should know is that Sheer Cold very willing to play this very aggressive style of rush.
Yeah, and it's the fact that O4 Dash just can't keep up as well. I'm not entirely sure what happened with that role swap, because on the Twitter announcement, Shao was actually announced as a tank player and Lukestar is a DPS player. I know that from, interactions with Lukestar in the past, as well as the Twitter announcement itself. So I'm not entirely sure if it's just a control map strategy to have Lukestar go over to the tank, maybe play that Junker Queen. Probably because it's a bit more mechanically intensive. Not sure, but Shao and Lukestar both looked a bit uncomfortable. I mean, Lukestar was constantly going for flanks like they were on DPS, but they were on, JQ. It's not really the most effective way to play that composition.
I don't think so, and I would just like to see something different from O4 Dash going into this next map. That is all I would like to see, because, totally the definition of insanity is trying the same thing and expecting different results, and they've got the experience in this roster to be able to make changes. Shao has been around the game since you were probably like 6, I don't know. Like, Shao has been around the game for absolutely forever. So if there's anyone that can make a call, I know, but if there's anyone to make a call, it will be Shao, and I trust in the veterancy to be able to realize that you can't just run this Junker Queen composition again and expect different results. There just wasn't any windows at which O4 Dash could fight. The Sheer Cold was slamming the door shut on any chance for O4 Dash to try and swing the fight in their favor. They were just hoping for Sheer Cold to over-aggress, for them to slip on target focus, for LP to greed fade, for example. And when you're really looking at it already after map 1 and saying it's kind of on Sheer Cold to make mistakes, not a good look going into the rest of the map. I don't want to sign and seal it just yet, because that would just be unfair to O4 Dash, but dominant map 1 has to be a precedent going forward into the rest of the series.
Yeah, Sheer Cold need to not slip up now, not get overconfident, realizing the O4 Dash win is, I guess, resistant to the, rush style, as our previous opponents were, Pitbull Storm, but O4 Dash as well just need to adapt. They need to make sure they can deal with the fast-paced rush style, whether that's putting Shao back on a comfort role of that tank, or putting Lukestar back on the DPS, where I've seen Lukestar pop off before in various tournaments and various even pugs in certain servers. Lukestar is an incredibly mechanically talented DPS, and that wasn't really put to show while playing on a Junker Queen. We'll see though. Midtown is going to be our map pick, so I'm not entirely sure of the meta comp for this. It seems like a Ram map to me.
I think Ram is okay. I think Winston is okay. Orisa D.Va, also playable. I mean, not that I would take experience from my own scrims anyway, but I've seen a lot of teams cook on this map for sure. They play some interesting things, but judging by Overwatch League and around, particularly in the Western region, seems to be a very Ana Brig, Winston favoured map. Both of these teams kind of, particularly on second point, jostle for control of the high grounds where they can afford it, and try and basically just sit the Winston on the enemy Ana and Brig for as long as possible. Luckily though, this map is suitable to dive, which means D.Va, which means Shao is back in on tank, and I like it. O4 Dash maybe trying something, or maybe just Shao not feeling confident on the Ram or the J Queen for map 1 and just preferring to play the Sombra, which Lukestar is potentially unable to play, but they're going to be back to what is probably a more standard composition. Shao once again on the tank, going to be opting for the Ram, a Sheer Cold composition. very, very slow and poke heavy on the defense. No mercy in particularly. Not wanting to give that poke over instead, playing Anakiri.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Anakiri is intended to be very resistant to aggression, right? I mean, you've got the Anti-Nade, you've got the Sleep, and you have a Suzu. There is no way NKZ should be dying from full frontal damage. That is for sure. Sheer Cold, I'm guessing, are going to play a bit defensively as well, right? LP and Zodyol are just going to sit in the back, sort of do their long-range sniper things, and Sheer Cold just need to hold a choke. 04 Dash, they're going to break through by trying to get some picks with Lukstar's. Hanzo! Okay. Already finding one. Johan goes down, and Sheer Cold, they're on the back foot already.
That's more like it. Insta-headshot comes in from 04 Dash. Massive anti, though, from LP, so take down one support, the other one's going to pop off. 04 Dash, they've got a numbers advantage. Can they patiently try and clean this up? They should just be able to walk onto point for free here.
Yep, now Lukstar's going to go up to the high ground as well. Duel out against LP, find that kill, and this is what I meant. Lukstar pops off when you give Lukstar the chance. And so mechanically gifted. Going to go in the backline, duel out this Tracer as well, find the kill, and Lukstar, the hero of that team fight. If that happened on Control, I think perhaps it would have been closer.
Okay, there we go. I mean, listen, if you're not dominant about these team fights, you're not comfortable about playing them in the rush mirror, just go Hanzo and headshot their supports every fight. Listen, it might just be that easy. Say what you will about Hanzo's hitbox, but when you fire 2 headshots basically in a row on these supports, you have a great opportunity. Any fight that your Hanzo can find a pick will be great for 04 Dash. Sheer Cold now slowly transitioning over. Streball still staying on the Kiriko, not going Lucio just yet. Luke's now going to be going over to the Sojol and sensing that the Hanzo is not quite as good, and they'd rather play the big range advantage and the big burst with the Railgun.
Yep, speaking of burst, you've got an Matrix here to try and burst down at any targets that Sheer Cold put in front of it. One of those is going to be that Kiriko that has to TP away using the Swift Step, as now it's going to be a hyper-aggression coming through from both Ramatras as they're just pummeling into each other. The Blizzard comes through there from 04 Dash, and it will trade out a couple of kills, and it doesn't matter. There's one player alive now for 04 Dash to try and clutch this up, and that is the Ramatra. Staying alive a little bit, but with all their players gone down, I think they're just going to stay in spawn.
Yeah, the investment in the Blizzard was hopeful. They managed to find numbers at least, but Sheer Cold are able to just once again keep this hold up tower aggressively. Sojol is able to play on the Reaper on the high ground. Tundi also very, very near an EMP. You think if that just goes down, it might just be 04 Dash completely cooked.
Well, it's Sojol going for a bit of a backline dive there, I suppose. Looked for a couple of kills as this annihilation from Xiao is putting through a lot of damage, getting the heals as well for the rest of the squad. Haku puts forth that sound barrier as NKZ falls as well as the rest of Sheer Cold. So a good team fight coming through there from 04 Dash, only 2 ults invested and 2 from Sheer Cold as well.
Yeah, so any 2-for-2 trade that ends up in a forward hold, late staggers, and caught is just going to be a win for this attacking team. 04 Dash are going to be able to take control of this high ground and going to give them a little bit more freedom to poke with Lutstar and Xiao on this combination. It's just about those railgun shots. Overclock coming up for Lutstar as well. Going to have to go big in this fight. Zodjo with the Death Blossom, though, could be a big win factor late out for Sheer Cold on the defense here.
Need to be careful. Zodjo's Blossom comes in the back line. Will get pressured out, though. And Matrix. Oh, that's unfortunate. I think 04 Dash just a little bit too fast to keep up with there for Zodyol's slow Death Blossom, and they'll keep the cart rolling forward with the help of Overclock.
Oh, great combo as well. Sucrex putting the hit stand of Lutstar through the window and just completely obliterating Zodjo. Went for it early, thought that Sheer Cold would just... Sorry, 04 Dash would just blindly walk into the Death Blossom. They check their corners, and instant response. It's just the Overclock and the window committed. Mew's going to be coming up on the Blizzard. Hato 04 Dash, though, look completely different on this map. They look so much calmer in the way they're taking these fights with Xiao on the tank.
Yeah, for sure. A lot more comfortable for them as Zodyol gets caught on the side. You can't keep off-angling like that and expecting not to get punished. Is 04 Dash just going to roll that through. Checkpoint obtained, and now 4 minutes for last point on Midtown is quite impressive. I think 04 Dash, with the ults they have as well coming up, would be pretty good.
This is why you never sign, seal, and deliver a fight after the first map, particularly Control. 04 Dash, if you look at how they're playing here, you would not think they're an home 5 team right now. They're playing so confidently, so fast, and so assertive. It's just that big injection that Xiao's giving on the tank to really try and propel them forward. 3 minutes 30 going into third point is a good start. This, though, is not Sucrax and Mew's insta-die.
Yeah, with Muse having gone down early on in that fight, everyone else just disengages. You're probably going to lose Lookstar late. There we go. Kill comes through from Yoham, and actually they're looking to push some pressure on Shao all the way back to the spawn room. As I'm not sure it's the best idea from Zodyol to go that aggressive, but yeah, Sheer Cold, I think they've started to rejuvenate a little bit.
There should be, the stabilization might be all that they need. We shall see. Condi's EMP going to be massive. Shao's Nemesis form might just get blown up with Condi decided to drop it. They have started him out though, so O4 Dash have the opportunity to go fast and first, but it looks like Condi is just going to walk up and hit them with this EMP.
Oh, two-person EMP could be big, or they're just going to hack the Baptiste, kill them off. Great stuff there as Sucrax goes down. Muse as well, so the Annihilation in combination with the beat just allows Sheer Cold a pretty free victory. I mean, those are two, like, very valuable ults used in the same fight, but you can't complain.
EMP kept, and it was a great stall from Condi. Started them out. It would have been prime position for an EMP, and it's not, but instead they just pop the Annihilation and completely obliterate them. From there, instead they were all clumped together. They weren't able to kite away from that sped boost. Ramartra ultimate. And Lukestar going to go on the flank here with the Overclock.
Yeah, damn, that was a clean shot from Lukestar as well onto Zodyol. Sheamus going to get traded out 2 for 2 right now. Is it's Ramartra's against each other, but the card is being pushed by U4 Dash. NKZ has to try and get back there with the speed boost of Yoham. They do have an EMP to invest if they want to clean this up quickly. A great hack comes through to cancel out the Amp Matrix, and Sucrax almost goes down so low on the high ground. Finally gets a sound barrier from Haku, and Muse has a Blizzard to try and clean this up if they want to. The Coalescence doing a lot of damage, but it doesn't matter because the Blizzard's been put down. NKZ caught out right in the middle of it. Zodyol going to do a bit of damage on the sidelines here, but not enough to finish off any kills. As Sucrax does go down, you're losing a bit of healing from that, and the Blossom in the backline actually from Zodyol almost clutches up, but Shao, Nemesis form, comes out late in the fight.
Oh, Zhao and Haku do a great job of just staying alive through the absolute mayhem that he's dropped so many ultimates invested, and I think I like the idea, but Condi might want that EMP back. Sucrax's window was just by himself. I don't think they even managed to get rid of the Baptiste. It was just the EMP because Condi could not get up to the high ground with that translocator. Time has been burnt off the clock though, at least for Sheer Cold. Condi falls though. This is a great window for O4 Dash to re-engage. Condi dying is going to be disastrous, I think.
Yeah, for sure. You really need Condi in this team fight to stage up those engages, but NKZ has an Annihilation coming up if they want to make a last-minute play. Both Annihilations online, and a backline pressure from NKZ finds Lukestar looking to take down Sucrax as well, but the Immortality Field is just too powerful. And NKZ goes down. Condi now back on the point, almost finishes off the Lucio, but gets healed right back up by Sucrax. And it's just a case of stalling it out now. Sheer Cold, how much time can you bleed off?
And I think it's just going to be 10 seconds or so. Nice beat from Yoham to come in. The numbers are going to be there. NKZ does not have ultimate, unfortunately. O4 Dash, though, really making Sheer Cold pay. It was just a pick on from Condi. Shao knew there was no hack and just walked in and pressed W. Big aggression from O4 Dash, recognizing their win condition. Now they've got beat to stabilize Ilpi's Coalescence is actually really, really good. This fight is still going on. EMP is dropped by Condi. Can they flip it?
Yeah, I think Sheer Cold can if they just get the target focus through. They need to focus down Haku and Lukestar, who are just being thorns in their side across this entire team fight. The Winston switch now from NKZ to try and stall out the car a bit more, but it doesn't matter. Condi's going to go down next, and Lukestar in that position is unstoppable. And that right there is why you put Lukestar on DPS, not tank.
There you go, Sojourn. A little bit of a masterclass there in the last fight. It was uncontested. Sheer Cold had to pile onto the cart. They got the big pick onto Shao, but the DPS of O4 Dash just doing the rest, clutching up in that situation. Muse was great at keeping this car basically within 0.1 meters and trying to find those final picks as well. And it's big pressure there because Lukestar could have been contested. There might have been an angle found on him, but he knew that he was uncontested, really taking time with those shots. Found a massive railgun burst into NKZ to immediately drop the tank. And you would have just thought, Toasty, if NKZ could have stayed alive, if that railgun shot would not have gone onto NKZ from Lukestar, Sheer Cold might have had a chance in this fight. We see the train times up there on the board in the New York station. O4 Dash getting it, unfortunately, with no time on the clock. But considering how well Sheer Cold were able to stall out that last point, I don't think they're going to be too upset with it, setting themselves up for a pretty decent defense here. I will say, considering, I think the May advantage here, actually, Toasty, is going to be big for O4 Dash. Sheer Cold, we've seen they're unwilling to play the May. And I just think, particularly in this narrow choke point that Lukestar is now sat in, it's going to be really hard for Shakehold to rotate against Muse and Shao with a 1-2 punch.
Yep, for sure. I think that for 0-4 Dash, it's just a case of post up Luke on a high ground, have Shao and Muse play so aggressive with Haku. I think you can't really go wrong at this choke. There's no way for Shakehold to break through unless they fake 0-4 Dash out a little bit. Zodyol on the Sojin now, picking it up from Lukestar, who played it just moments ago. See if it gets any value. You really need to hit a big railgun, and that was a missed one right there.
Yeah, missed it, unfortunately, but Lukestar, you think the later this fight goes on, the more chance he is of finding a massive headshot with this Hanzo Storm Arrow still available. Nemfon Pot, massive anti from LP.
Yep, LP just hits a huge anti-nade. Usually, of course, it's not LP that's playing the Ana. It's Yoham, actually, that was playing it last series, but either way, Conti goes down, so it's not like they get too much value from it. Lukestar does get antied up once again, won't get taken down though as 0-4 Dash keeps them up. Suprex and Haku investing all their resources into just keeping the team up through those anti-nades. Shakehold unable to really follow up on any of the setup from their supports.
I think Shakehold really missing the Lucio play there. They've got double flex support in Yoham and LP. Neither of these players, I think, particularly comfortable on the Lucio. Massive nade from LP, but the worst thing that can happen after landing a massive anti-grenade like that is that you're unable to walk. That's exactly what Shakehold were unable to do. They could not aggress on this 0-4 Dash composition, which meant the anti-nade was effectively useless. It brought a little bit of ultimate charge and forced lamp, but from there 0-4 Dash still had all the sustain in the world to keep going and find those picks. Shao almost ultimate, Sutrax got ultimate as well. I think window here, such a big boon compared to the nano boost. The damage from Lukestar will just be massive if he can find Storm Arrows through Sutrax's ultimate.
NKZ can build up the Annihilation, though a Nano Annihilation would end this team fight in a second. Never mind, Zodyol going to go with the Overclock instead. NKZ goes down early, but Zodyol hits a lovely shot into Sukrax on the side, now putting pressure on the support.
Okay.
Double kill comes through, and that will end the team fight as soon as it started. Blink and you'll miss it, folks, because that was a pop-off play.
Well, Zodyol finds 3 there with the Nano Boost Overclock combo, immediately just rinsing Sutrax through his own window. Absolutely sent for a spin. Straight back to the spawn room he goes, and Shakehold. They needed a big play to come up in this fight. I was a bit questionable about the Nano, but when you've got Overclock, Zodyol's got all the confidence in the world to hit those shots. And hit them, he did. 0-4 Dash, unable to survive through the shit burst damage that the Overclock Nano boosted Sojourn provided. Great shots from Zodyol, and has really opened up the point now for Shakehold. Condi on the tracer got a pulse bomb. 0-4 Dash though. They're looking to fight early here.
Well, a pulse bomb could put a stop to this, but Lukestar hits the headshot. Condi, the play just gets shut down, unfortunately for you there, my friend. I mean, I saw the vision, but Lukestar just reacted way too quickly to it. And again, this is why you have Lukestar on these hit scan heroes, or even the Hanzo, right? It's such a pop-off play.
I mean, one good Sojourn play deserves another. I think this hero might need a nerf again, either that or these are just excellent Sojourn players, and which they are. To be fair, the pick potential, the railgun damage is just so huge. You think about the kill thresholds for these players, the sustain these compositions get. One railgun to the head or to the body is just all she wrote. Good night. Speaking of, Shao full solo, lamp forced early.
Yeah, and because the lamp was forced early, you can't sustain Shao through all that damage, but what can is a sound barrier. Annihilation going to get shut down here, it looks like, for NKZ, but the healing keeps on coming through, and they're just blocking through all of that damage. NKZ holding right-click, going aggro onto the enemy Ram now, as Zodyol finds 2 as well, showing Lukestar that they are not the only one who can play the Sojourn like a beast.
Okay, so we've had 3 fights so far. Zodyol gets a 4k with the Nano, and then Lukestar gets a 3k. And then Zodyol gets a 3k. So now, by order of law of the universe, Toasty, Lukestar with this window Overclock, if they can find the position, should just blow everyone up. And then Zodyol next fight with the Overclock should just blow everyone up again. So really is coming down to Protide versus Protide right now. Anime heroes are these hit-stand DPS. And unfortunately, as much as some of their egos believe it, it is being the case here. Muse, though, decides to have the first impact in this fight.
Yeah, Muse, seeing that the limelight was stolen by Zodyol by Lukestar, talking about those 2 players a little bit too much here, as I say that, Lukestar literally gets another kill, and probably going to find that counterpart on Zodyol as well, so still not staying out the kill feed, despite Muse wanting a piece of the fame.
Yeah, this fight was all about Muse, though. Great wall to essentially confirm the kill on NKZ, and found a random headshot, I believe, onto LP or Condi to start out the fight. Lukestar here, though, in a very aggressive position, no nano onto him. It just forces him out. Great sort of scout there from Condi to go around the outside. And I believe that is the defender's spawn there that Condi has found.
Yeah, I think so. And
Oh,
Condi very deep in the back line here, ready to initiate on an aggressive play, but NKZ just gets chunked down right as they pop that Nemesis form to go aggressive, and it's hard to get up to this high ground without enduring a ton of spam, especially with the ults that 04 Dash have online currently.
You managed to get out window at least from sheer cold, so you know window overclock isn't going to be a pain. But, I mean, all the ultimates for both DPS and Shao is going to be... They go for the nano onto Zodjul again.
Yep, nano overclock going to come through, but there's no targets to be found. They've all hidden out of sight. Will be Lukestar going down, however, and Shao manages to shut it down with the Annihilation, just standing on point now against NKZ, who's trying desperately to build up their own Annihilation. Has it online, going to go aggro along with the Kitsune Rush. Beat comes through in response, though, from Haku, and it's absolutely chaotic on the cart right now. Ilpi goes down through all of the madness as Muse manages to find a stray icicle in the back line, and that just ends the fight.
04 Dash just sends sheer cold running to the hills again. I liked the nano play. Hey, it worked the first time, right? Why not try it again? Unfortunately, Shao had the Nemesis form to immediately shut that out. They knew that they were not allowing the Sojourn to get away with it for a second time. Muse finds NKZ late in these fights, and Toasty, there's 20 seconds left on the clock. Sheer cold are out of ultimates. He might be out of ideas. Lukestar's got his to go. It's going to be, once again, a battle of the Sojourns in this fight, giving the upper hand to Lukestar. He's got high ground. He's got high ground control. Someone has to touch, and it's going to be Condi. Let's see how Sheer Cold can do this, because they've got basically no resources.
Lukestar has to fall early to make this a neutral fight. That's exactly what needs to happen. Sheer Cold, nope, okay. Lukestar is not the one who falls early. Finds NKZ as the first kill of the team fight, now up to the high ground with the overclock. Just popping off once again. And Sheer Cold, I mean... Sure, there was a chaotic final engage to try and make that work, but the overtime burns away, and 04 Dash find a map in this series. That's their third map of Contenders Summer Series, and potentially a few more to come if Lukestar keeps playing like that as well.
You wouldn't think it. This looked such a almost rehearsed, systematic, pragmatic deconstruction of Sheer Cold here on Midtown. Shao on this Ram looked so confident. Lukestar on this Sojourn, absolutely lethal. And I'm not quite sure if you can replicate that every map, but if you can, 04 Dash is going to be in with a great shot for this series. We're going to be going over to Escort for our next map with the pick of Sheer Cold. But, man, let's take a second to revel and applaud and congratulate 04 Dash for the dominance in which they played that map. That was a big, big pop-off play from them. And I don't think Sheer Cold were ready for that level of just mechanical play from Lukestar on the Sojourn.
Yeah, I don't think they were expecting it. I mean, they didn't expect Lukestar to come out on Junker Queen in the first map either. And one of those plans went well, one didn't, right? Having Lukestar on the Sojourn was the one that went well. And I think that's because Lukestar is so mechanically good, has the support of the rest of the squad around him as well. So I think as well, it's the dual action of that aggression in the front line from Shao and then the opportunities it opens up for Lukestar, right? You're not getting that same kind of aggression from NKZ. I mean, you're trying. NKZ is definitely trying, but it's not opening up the same opportunities. Whether that's a positional difference from 04 Dash or that's just Lukestar hitting more shots, remains to be seen if they can replicate it in the next map or not, right? But either way, going to an escort map, still a lot of high ground to play around, still quite a dynamic play style as well with the moving cart and lots of different high grounds to play around, as well as potentially just, you know, 5-stacking on the cart whenever you need to as well. So it's going to be quite a flexible play style that Sheer Cold are going to need to have to try and counter this out from 04 Dash.
I think so. Just being able to now have almost a win condition to play through, which is this Sojourn versus Ram composition, is big for 04 Dash. Sheer Cold are going to have to find a response. They tried to pull out the Winston, and unfortunately in the fights where 04 Dash have high ground advantage and they have fully charged railgun and overclock, you can burn that Winston before they ever dare touch your Sojourn. So yeah, let's see. Sheer Cold, I think, almost getting baited into the tank versus tank matchup. Shao playing this so defensively, just buying time for Lukestar to find picks with that railgun. Sheer Cold, as I said before, do have map pick of Escort, and I'm interested to see what they go for. If you're Sheer Cold here, I wonder what map you pick. Maybe Gibraltar. I think they can, I mean, I say that they kind of got rolled on Gibraltar, didn't they? Gibraltar was very, very one-sided against Pitbull Storm. So potentially not that. Then your options are trying to think of Havana, J-Town, Dorado, Route 66, Rialto. It's going to be any combination of those. I would say your best option is potentially Rialto, with your worst option being Havana or Route 66 if you don't want to go against the Loot Star Sojourn. So let's see what Sheercold are cooking. Let's see. It's all on them.
Gibraltar wouldn't even be that bad. It was only bad against Pitbull Storm because Pitbull Storm were incredible on that Diva, but it doesn't seem like Shao is too happy to play the Diva, despite being an off-tank player. No. Yeah, not pulled it out yet. I think that's just because the Ram has been working. Luke's not popping off, and then the Ram just occupies the front line. It's kind of like what Tread was doing last series, right? Just have the Diva occupy the front line, and then you've got your DPS sort of doing all the work. It will be Circuit Royale, though. The one escort map you didn't mention there in that list is going to be picked. That means Sigma Mirror. I'm pretty sure we're agreed, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. And partly it's because I think, okay, if you go to Circuit Royale, you know Overwatch are probably just going to play Sojourn again. So, I mean, listen, I trust Condi better than anyone to pop off on these hit stands. I think they can absolutely take the mirror, but it's not their job. They've not been playing the Sojourn. It's been some other DPS. So double sniper though will allow Condi to potentially play the Ash, play the Hanzo. I think Widow is pretty much dead on this map, which would be actually no, that might not be true. I'm just trying to remember. I was talking to someone the other day, a very predominant Widow player in EU, and they were saying that Widow is dead on all escort maps except one, and that one might be Circuit Royale. So I apologize, guys. That's just useless analysis. My bad. But I can't for the life of me remember which one it is. But if this is the one map that Widow is viable, then I trust Sheercold to be able to have the hero pools to be able to play it and pull it out. I'm not sure how it fares into the Sojourn. I think the Sojourn is probably just better. But listen, Widowmaker, if she's viable, then you might just end fight with a singular headshot. So let's see, shall we? Like you never know.
I mean, Luke Star is extremely good at both Widow and Hanzo. We haven't seen Luke Star pull out the Widow, but I know Luke Star is good at Widow. So we should see a bit of flexibility there, right? 04 Dash can put Muse on either the Hanzo or the Widow, depending on what they're comfortable on. Given that they've been playing the sort of May and that sort of thing, I'd assume they're a projectile, a flex DPS, so we'd likely see them on the Hanzo over Luke Star. The alternative is play Sojourn and Widow. If Muse really wants to play the Widow, we'll see. I think this is going to be a much slower style for both of these squads, though, more than they're used to. And I think... Okay, Luke Star's back on tank, guys! Sheercold, please, capitalize on this.
What are they cooking? Okay. And I guess...
What?
I'm going to be honest.
It's because Shao's on the Sombra.
Yeah, I guess so, but, surely Shao Sigma is, fine here.
Yeah,
I mean,
surely.
Shao played Sigma when it was at its most broken, I'm sure of it. I mean, Shao's definitely got a decent DPS, but I think after that map, sometimes you can overreact and underreact to a map, shall I say. So the psychology of 04 Dash is clearly, we won that map. Even though Luke Star had a pop-off performance, we feel like this is our set strategy coming into this map and we're not going to change it. However, I'm going to have to be honest, look in your top right, that's an 05 record. Your strategies on some of these maps have not been working. Therefore, this basically implies that this strategy that they're doing doesn't work. So potentially it's a bit overreactive to play Luke Star on DPS on this map, yes, but it's also, I wouldn't mind it. I don't think many people would too. But we have to give 04 Dash the benefit of the doubt. They have won the last map. They do clearly have a plan for this one. Toasty, it's just about the execution. Can 04 Dash cook?
And it depends if Luke Star can perform on tank as well as the DPS, right? I see why they're doing it. They want Shao on the Sombra, and they clearly aren't they clearly aren't happy to have Luke Star on the Sombra. Even with Shao on the Sombra, though, they go down early. So it's just 04 Dash disengaging and Sheercold taking back the space they lost.
04 Dash need to run on Sheercold as fast as possible. Muse need to use these walls to decrease the distance and try and find the Sigma. They've got a great matchup with Sombra May into that Sig, but the range distance of Sheercold, particularly their backline as well, Yoham and Ilpi, so uncontested on this map Zen. It's just about being able to layer the damage. The pathing of 04 Dash has to be immaculate, otherwise all 5 members of Sheercold will be able to find a pick.
We shall see here. 04 Dash going a bit aggressive through that window, seeing if they can find kills. Yep, Sheercold just get bursted down through it. They tried to take a full frontal attack and it didn't work because our Matrix is double damage. That's quite an unlucky team fight for Sheercold there. Look at the draw.
Terrific charge time though from 04 Dash on that amplification matrix. There was no way once that May wall came up from Muse that Shakehold tank was going absolutely anywhere. That Sigma was destined to fall. It was just a case of when and not if, and that was all they needed. 04 Dash, though, once again, they've still got a long fight line that they need to close, but luckily they have wall to do it. Flux comes in, though, for Shakehold.
Yeah, Shakehold just re-engaged. Flux finds the May. Shao also goes down very low, same can be said for Lukerstar, and now they're all on the back foot. You've got the Sojin coming in for Shakehold just to do all the clean-up work as the lamp is used down on low ground. They rotate back around there, try and find the back line. Zen gets out the way, kicks Lucio in the face, and there we go. Good cleanup coming through. Shakehold reacted very well to that rotation.
Shakehold did so well. It's just about finding that first pick for Shakehold on this composition. LP on the Zen, they left him unchecked. They tried to challenge him one by one, and Haku falls to the Fists of Fury from the Zenyatta. Great kill from LP. 04 Dash, though, got a wealth of ultimates to go, but they're going to have to rotate into this high ground. And how many times have we seen a team with this Sigma composition just stalwart, like Stalingrad-esque, hold this high ground, and the other team can't do anywhere, can't do anything, like specifically when you're on rush. This is such a rough spot for 04 Dash to be in, even with the wealth of ultimates.
I mean, they've used Lamp, so they have to wait for Lamp to back up, and then they have to wait for Amp, and then when they have Amp, they'll Amp through, use the Lamp, and then they're down on resources. I see what you mean here, Chase. As already, Sucra X didn't wait for the Lamp to come back up, so they go down. NKC finds the kill. Lots of spam damage to be had there, and Shakehold still chasing over these players as 04 Dash, two of them almost go down, both of the DPS, Shao and Muse. And Shao just dips, leaves them to die, realizes the fight's lost.
Yeah, this is such a bad rotation. This May wall is going to have to come up at such good timing to wall off this essentially only sight line in between these barricades that they're playing. Also, you got to remember, when Shao gets forced out, his translocator has to be so far back that you're effectively dead in that fight for 10 to 15 seconds before you can use the invis move speed to sprint back. 04 Dash, once again, we know they've got 5 ultimates. They had it last fight, but they just can't get into range to use them. Lamp is forced early. Shakehold, great job at forcing these resources.
But again, Shao gets forced out just by a single body shot that comes through from Zodiol. So Muse goes down after being deserted by the fellow DPS, and it's Lukerstar that has to clutch up now with this Annihilation on board, chasing down NKZ, who retreats to the Lamp, but it doesn't matter because Yoham still goes down regardless. Sucra X now is going to invest the Amplification Matrix and the Lamp as well, realizing Zodiol is an alpha threat.
There we go, 04 Dash, it costs them a pick and 3 ultimates, but they get there. That's a difficult fight now. Shakehold would have to rotate into them, into the EMP, into the Blizzard. I think 04 Dash are more than happy to just commit one of those, if not both, and try and win this fight. You got to remember, Sound Barrier, Transcendence comes out. LP deliberately tailing the composition. Look, he knows that if LP gets EMP, it's going to be disaster. But say that, the wall comes in, Shakehold needs a touch.
Shakehold get on it just in time, and the Transcendence was hiding there for LP, managing to counter out the EMP, similarly to sort of how you use a B2 from 04 Dash, but it doesn't matter, because literally just running over Shakehold is the plan here for 04 Dash. They kill him off. Zodiol does get an exit pick onto Haku, but I think that reactive Transcendence to EMP wasn't as effective as it could have been. I don't think anyone was dying from that anyway.
I'm not sure. I think it was almost just a hope and a prayer. The wall essentially forced it. The wall that came out from Muse was secretly like the best cooldown used in this entire fight. Shakehold had to break it and had to rush through. When they rushed through, EMP came out. When that EMP came out, LP just basically instinctively presses that Transcendence button, and from there Muse waits and waits, and the second best cooldown used in that fight was Muse's Blizzard. Why? Because all the cooldowns have gone from Shakehold, so they had nothing to escape the icy chamber that Muse had locked them in. They got locked in it, and Shakehold by name and freezing by nature. Great play from Muse. 04 Dasher got a decent time bank heading into third.
Good thing is yeah, I was going to say there's a Flux, but no beat. So Haku's going to go down here, so is Lukerstar. Haku doesn't actually go down. Stays alive here. The Lamp was good timing there from Sucrix, as now NKZ goes down. No tanks on both sides, but look at the high ground control from Shakehold. They can concave around 04 Dash and get some kills. Great boot comes through there, though, as Zodiol manages to save themselves with a jump, and finds a great Storm Arrow onto Sucrix as well. 04 Dash now definitely out of that team fight, and Shakehold have a great position for their snipers to post up on that.
And now they do. I think 04 Dash, they are finding these fights into this spam composition, and this matchup was previously historically so rough for the rush composition, but the lack of 2 tanks means the off-handle isn't as safe as it used to be. which allows opportunities for the rush composition to play showers, scouting out these high grounds here, knowing now O4 Dash can reactively path against it. They're going all the way. I believe actually no, just down main. Shao trying to find EMP. I'm interested to see where the tanks are. Here we are. Lutstar's on himself all the way on the top right here with the rest of his team. Might just try and run on the supports that are sat behind NKZ here. But even then, they're going to have to deal with Condi sat uncontested on this other high ground.
And look at all these off angles you've got, but they are actually being contested. Shao finds an EMP in the backline, almost kills them off, but a great ding from Zodyol counters that out. Both supports go down here though for sheer cold, as they weren't really protecting them as well as they probably could have been. NKZ drops down to the cart to try and stall out a little bit more for a last minute recontest, but an annihilation in the spawn room probably stops that from even happening.
Nice wall to come in as well. I was worried about that EMP from Shao, but great execution, great follow-up from O4 Dash. They managed to obliterate the right side high ground with that window and then quickly rotate with that speed boost to finish off the damage that Shao had put in from that EMP. It could not be instantly healed up because it takes time for the Baptiste and the Zen to try and peel everyone back to full HP, and the aggression from O4 Dash after that EMP kept on going. They knew their go button, and go they did. Honestly, as a rush composition, Toasty, getting just under a minute time bank, 46 seconds, on Circuit Royale is pretty impressive. The fact that they capped all 3 points as well, I think, in particular. That big fight, though, I want to take you back to second point, where they managed to find the fight because NKZ dropped from the high... Sorry, third NKZ dropped from the high ground to find that kill. I think if NKZ might not have fallen or just dropped on the high ground after that flux, O4 Dash ran him down with the close quarter composition. I think Shakehold could have potentially held third, but now we're back into defense for O4 Dash. They're going to stick on this rush comp. They've got the option for a close hold, but I wonder how they're going to do it. Shakehold have options to counter pick it, but I think O4 Dash maybe just fine to drain the time bank and go from there.
Yeah, and Shao here on the Sombra also makes it so Shakehold kind of have to go through one door, otherwise if you go through separate doors trying to deal with the spawn hold that way, you're just going to get isolated off on the side, so it will be a head-on-head brawl, I think. At least to the start here. Yeah, get me a rotation around the side for Shakehold. See if they can get the high ground and actually just go straight for the cart, but the LP goes down. That was a lovely icicle.
Limited range for this O4 Dash composition, but not if you can hit icicles like you are. Prime Profit, great pick from Muse. Let's see how Shakehold can respond down there, Moira. O4 Dash committed to this spawn camp.
Yeah, and LP's just going to come back quickly. Right from the spawn room, that's the problem with being on a spawn hold. However, Zodyol also goes down, so if you can keep getting kills like that, it's going to go great for O4 Dash here, as no one falls for their squad off the start. As Condi tries to trade out, but Shakehold just run it down and they couldn't quite find any kills.
This is the first May we've seen from Condi all series, all 5 maps or so. Sorry, all 7 maps that we've seen, obviously for the 5-map banger earlier that we saw. And it's on Circuit Royale Escort. That is not something I thought I would be seeing, but I think it has to happen. You know, this composition without the Sombra is weak when the Sombra is out, when they don't have EMP. It's a great punish from Shakehold. Unfortunately, it's not happened, but I think the composition difference will eventually come into fruition.
Yeah, for sure. Lutstar going so aggressive, however. Almost has the annihilation, and NKZ is nowhere near it. So O4 Dash is going to engage with ults of their own, see what they can get first and foremost. Condi does go down, caught in the midst of that blizzard, and Lutstar can turn it as well with annihilation. Not needed, because they just use that Nemesis form, kill off Yoham, kill off Zodyol, and Shakehold left looking lost.
They really are. They're out of ideas, and I think it's just going to have to be ultimates. One of the classic things to do in Overwatch is throw ultimates at the problem, and Shakehold are going to have to do so. If they can find these big individual ults, I guess with the Blizzard and the Coalescence, it's going to be a way to get them back into fight. EMP is dropped, it finds 3.
Yeah, EMP finds 3, but the beaten response coming from both sides, actually. Shakehold staying alive through the EMP, and Lutstar instead is the one to fall. 2 for 2 trade now, so DPS are down for Shakehold, and it's all up to NKZ now. The annihilation to put through the damage. Shao in the back line, just looking to damage out NKZ, force them away. The annihilation, however, forces Shao out and clutches up the team fight last minute. It's a good thing they had spawners coming in as well to heal NKZ up.
Yeah, he said the DPS fell early in that fight for O4 Dash. They did not. Sukrat and Haku were still alive, fragging on those supports. Getting those trade kills so good. This allows Shakehold to take so much space forward to try and find late stages of their own and ultimately just take up space and try and get a poke phase. O4 Dash now basically got Annihilation versus Death Blossom, big advantage for them. And O4 Dash, most importantly, look at the time bank they've been able to burn with that first hold.
Yeah, for sure. You've got maybe 2 fights here for Sheer Cold, and that's if they even win these 2 coming up. Lukestar gonna get chunked down very low through that Annihilation. To Blossom here would be a great boon, and there we go. Finds Haku, almost finds Lukestar as well, but the rest of the team is doing the work in cleaning that up. As NKZ gets in the back with a Nemesis, and that's a team kill. Cap coming through. Gives Sheer Cold a bit more time to work with.
This is just a classic example of what happens when there is no EMP on the board for O4 Dash. Xiao is unable to drop it. So Sheer Cold are just going to address onto Lukestar, was forced into Nemesis form to power block. Lamp was also puffed up by Sucrax. He found an exit pick, but the kills came in too thick and fast. Great use of the Death Blossom, just understanding this is a low value ultimate. If we commit it, we're guaranteed to win this fight and keep our time bank alive. 254, but Xiao drops the EMP, it finds all 5, and OP fails.
Yeah, I think Sheer Cold should just accept the fight loss there. They don't really have to invest anything. This is an EMP that's used by Xiao, and even then you find Sucrax as an exit pick, so that forces O4 Dash to play a bit more defensively.
Fight was just over. Xiao drops the EMP, and it's as classic as that. Now Konya's got the Blizzard to respond. Sheer Cold got a bunch of ultimates. But to be fair, as I said, this O4 Dash composition, I think, really hinges on its EMP, and the fact that Xiao manages to build it in these charge times is so good. Music though finds a pick onto Condi.
Yep, huge pick coming through there. May on May action, and now it's going to be the Nemesis form, sorry, from NKZ in the backline, trying to find something, but walled off by Muse, just says nope, bye. And now the Blizzard's going to come in the backline here as well, countering out the Annihilation and the sound barrier. NKZ and Yoham wasting both of those ultimates.
Oh my,
what a well-timed Blizzard from Muse there. Crazy stuff.
God. Okay, if anyone, listen, let me break this down. Muse is one of the May players of all time. That wall, perfect, but he also body blocked NKZ through the Nemesis form, the Annihilation, to basically stop him from leaving the Blizzard that he just popped in to get the freeze and then confirm the kill. Muse does everything right in that fight to keep O4 Dash alive. 90 seconds left on the clock. That big investment from Sheer Cold comes up empty, and it's just thanks to the May player of O4 Dash.
Speaking of May players though, Condi finds revenge on Muse and also has this Blizzard to use against Lukestar's. Well, now it's an Annihilation, I suppose. I was going to say Nemesis form, but a bit of a waste from Lukestar potentially. They end up going down inside of the Blizzard, and maybe a bit of a panic ult there, I'd say, from Lukestar. Probably going for a clutch, but either way, it's only 1-0.
Yeah, I would have loved for O4 Dash to hold that out. You saw that Muse fell early. You know that you have time bank advantage, 56 seconds. This is basically a fight and a half. You've got EMP. You would have had Nem form. You still have window to go. Sheer Cold once again only got the immediate ultimate in that Reaper, but it's just about this EMP. Can Xiao find it?
Oh, well, they found it, but guess who else found something? It's Zodyol in your backline, finding 3 kills across that fight, and clutching up for Sheer Cold now. So wasted EMP, a wasted Annihilation over the past 2 fights for O4 Dash. That is, oh, that's horrible.
Taking a page out of Pitbull Storm's book. You know the EMP is coming, so what do? Toasty? You go before it's dropped. Zodyol so aggressive. O4 Dash once again not expecting that Death Blossom to come out early. The wall, I think, from Condi was good to split them, and it just meant that O4 Dash were unable to capitalize, and the fact that Xiao does not uses the EMP and loses gives Sheer Cold once again the advantage in this fight as well. Yeah,
Sheer Cold just going to aggress from the other side with their Coalescence, and now it's NKZ just going for a 1v5 push and just gets dunked down by the Annihilation. It doesn't matter, Zodyol and Condi get in the backline, find a kill apiece, and O4 Dash are still scrambling around trying to find a kill if they can. It's Lukestar actually to help find Condi alongside Xiao. Zodyol trades it out onto Sucrax alone with the Baptiste gone. That's all your stability out of the fight.
We're on Circuit Royale here, the home of casinos and slot machines. Gambling for sure was being taken place with the HP pool of NKZ there. With that ultimate, that was so risky, but managed to get just enough damage for the rest of his team to follow up with almost scary. If O4 Dash had one of these ultimates online, it could have been an entirely different story. But with 46 seconds left, Sheer Cold cannot afford to slip in these fights now. Sound barrier has to be perfect against the wealth of ultimates. Once again, Xiao, as I said, almost 30% to EMP. Used it about 45 seconds or so a fight ago. Muse drops the Blizzard. Is it big?
Oh, well, Yoham gets caught out on the side anyway, so even if the Blizzard doesn't catch them, Still going to be NKZ falling. No ability to speed them out of that Blizz radius. Zodjal finds Sucrax in the back, but just going to reset early and get one last fight for sheer cold.
These ult rotations, by the way, I've not really mentioned this whole map, and I really should have done illegal casting from me, my bad. But 04 Dash's ult rotations, so good. Every time they commit one of their big ultimates, it feels like another one is ready to go next fight. Basically, 3 out of 4 fights, Shao, Muse, and Lootstar have their ultimates ready to go. 04 Dash EMP here in the final fight.
Oh my word, 3 of the big ultimates there from 04 Dash, the beat, the Annihilation, and the EMP.
No way they lose.
And still Zodjal gets in the backline, finds Sucrax. This is winnable for sheer cold, but they just have to stay alive. Condi can't get towards the point in time. It's going to have to be NKZ touching that out. And Ilpi, 98% to the Coalescence. They need to get it online as soon as possible and get back to the fight with it. There we go. Coalescence comes up, going to put some pressure onto the back, forces out the ice block. Muse almost goes down. They found Muse. That is an incredible kill to come through, and sheer cold just keep NKZ alive. Oh, so close to the Annihilation. They just have to keep stalling it out, see if they can take down Lootstar. Sucrax goes down in the back, though. Condi finding a lovely kill there, and the Mei Wall helps to stabilize just a little bit as Lootstar falls as well. No way the sheer cold turned that one around. It's Shao coming down to try and touch the point now alongside Muse, who swapped over to the Tracer, but no one from 04 Dash can confirm a single kill. Sheer cold have NKZ coming back now for an Annihilation, and that is the biggest flip I have seen all series.
Zhao gets another EMP, built that up in basically this fight. I think it's going to be it though, the overwhelming force on the point. And there was a singular cooldown here that I may want to single out, and I'm not going to harp on it and immediately nail it as the reason they lost the fight. But there was a sequence there where, most importantly, 04 Dash basically overlay all of their ultimates. They were just probably expecting, let's just use all 3 of our big ultimates and win. Shao and Lootstar basically overlay their EMP and Nemesis form, but it doesn't find anything. They're a bit lazy with their target focus. The resource and the peel from sheer cold, very, very good too. But Lootstar, at the end of his Nemesis form, I think wanted to go aggressive onto the back line, but he's actually walled off by his own mate. Muse puts up the wall defensively, and that defensive wall breaks LOS onto sheer cold supports that Lootstar had, and it prematurely ends the Annihilation from his own tank. Ooh. And I was potentially a bit of a disastrous throw, shall I say. I'm not going to hard commit to that call, might I add, because I'm not quite sure about the timing, but if that is the case, and I'm pretty certain it was, man, that's disastrous from 04 Dash, and it's kind of unlucky. I don't mind the defensive wall there for Muse. The overtime witch is burning. You get your resources back, but I think Lootstar wanted to go aggressive onto that backline. I think they had the avenue, the HP pool, the speed boost, the lamp, the window up and coming to do it. Muse kind of stops that from happening, gives sheer cold a lifeline back into this fight, an opportunity to stabilize, and they do, Toasty. And now we are heading to extra rounds. Luckily though, 04 Dash still at least have time bank advantage.
For sure, and sheer cold now not going to get caught by the spawn camp. They're going to rotate around the left side into this room. Condi, though, just face tanked an icicle from Muse, I suppose. Now, it's going to be sheer cold. Trying to overcompensate, go aggressive, find Lootstar or Shao. Both of them getting chunked down, forcing out the immortality field. Shao ends up falling, actually, so no Sombra to assist in this team fight. 04 Dash going to just play behind this wall, use it to their advantage as Lootstar is getting pressured out, chunked down, almost has the Annihilation already. It's only been 40 seconds, Lootstar. Oh my word, but they don't pop it. They stay disciplined. They do not pop the Annihilation and panic there. That is good.
I think the armor refresh might have potentially been a bit too much of a gamble. And sometimes when you know the overtime wick is about to start, you know, now it's overtime starting for sheer cold, I don't mind it. It would have been disastrous here. You would think Shao, most importantly, falling early means that they weren't able to build up the EMP. It's Lootstar's ultimate that has to go. Muse has got his as well. 04 Dash, though, they can't rush. They absolutely can't. But if they take a fight early, Toasty, they've got the ultimate advantage. NKZ, though, does have the Annihilation now. No sound barrier for Johan. Muse and Lootstar, they've got to find these ultimates if they want to win this.
Cole Annihilation could win it for sheer cold, but unfortunately Johan goes down first. Lootstar finds their way into the back line as NKZ now with the Annihilation looking to take down Sucrax, but it doesn't matter. Muse turns around and looks at NKZ, takes them down early on. Zodjal ends up using that Blossom, and the EMP just to finish things off here for Shao, dealing with Zodjal before it can become a problem. And even though that was not the greatest fight for sheer cold at the end, they pushed the payload a bit further than their spawn, so that's a really big boon for them.
Yeah, it means they're basically committed to the spawn hold, I believe, but 04 Dash, just the overwhelming ultimates. This time, Toasty, they did not make the mistake of going immediately EMP into Annihilation. They waited. There was a chance for Shithold to come back into that fight. They were just ready to start going again, and Shao slams the door shut with that EMP veteran call from him. So let's see. In these mirrors, we saw Shithold kind of dominate them on map 1, and this map, I think, 04 Dash have really had a big advantage, particularly with the Mei. It's almost forced it out from Condi. But they've just not been getting as much value in these neutral fights that they should have with the Reaper versus the Sombra, because Shao has got EMP basically off cooldown. So 04 Dash doing such a terrific job. And this might be what, as you said, they've only won 3 or 4 maps so far out of 5 games that they've played. This might be another map win for them. And then if they can get another one, that'd be their first win. 04 Dash though, 90 seconds left, more than enough time, in a great position. I think the comms here are going to have to be big. 04 Dash, Toasty, they've got time to play for these ultimates. Time to generate them up. They only need to win basically 1 fight. But if they're generating ultimates, so are Sheer Cold. So let's see. They are going to be weak until they've got EMP. And I think Shao is just going to have to try and build this up as fast as possible.
And they've been found out in the side room here. Sheer Cold need to not go too aggressive and just hold their ground. They have that block from the Nemesis form to stall out some time. Build up some coalescence charge there. Bit of a wall though. Condi gets separated from the rest of the squad. Can't really wall off Lukestar to try and re-aggress. Uses it in a bit of a panic. Doesn't quite find anything with it, and now NKZ almost goes down. Has to block and hope for some healing from Ilpi, who is dumping all their resources into keeping NKZ alive. But look at Lukestar's Annihilation. Again, it's been literally 30 seconds, and Lukestar has the Annihilation online. Just tears through Sheer Cold, popping it as soon as they get it.
How can he live though? His HP falls really low, but I think it's just the one ultimate fight. I have no idea how Lukestar got this much damage. His first Nemesis form must have just been terrific. Shao almost got an EMP as well. These ultimate charge times to 04 Dash have been nothing short of sublime, and now I think they're just going to walk this payload in and take themselves to match point.
Not a single touch to be had. You can't even Reddit Lucio that quickly. Yep, just a Nat Matrix at the end to take down the Lucio, and that is 04 Dash taking their 4th map of Contenders Summer Series and potentially getting their first win because they're on match point.
Sheer Cold just instantly say Esperanza. NKZ makes the call.
Yeah.
And I think they want to get out of Circuit Royale as fast as possible. This was such a good final couple of fights for 04 Dash. I was worried about them going into it, but you were right. Lukestar just builds up Annihilation form in like 40 seconds, just pummeled everyone, I guess, with that Annihilation charge.
Yeah.
And 04 Dash, to the surprise of, I think a lot of people, to be fair, yes, Shithold are 1 and 4, but 04 Dash are 0 and 5 only taken. Now that's their, what, 4th map, did you say?
4th map, yeah.
4th map out of 5 games. 04 Dash are 1 map away from winning their first game. They look so revitalized. We were questioning Lukestar on the tank coming in after seeing the performance on Control, but he was really, really good on the Ramatra there. Once again, the charge time of his ults, was that like 40%, 35% in that last fight compared to what NKZ was able to get? Man, that's so impressive.
Yeah, it's just incredible. I think, I wasn't expecting Lukestar to be able to play the Ram that effectively. That was a 30-second Annihilation, but either way, we are going to be heading to a quick break here. Teams want to buy a break. We want a break for our voices after all of that action, but stay tuned. You could see 04 Dash's first win coming right up.
And we are back on the official Sheer Cold Twitch channel, where Sheer Cold are one map away from dropping this series and going 0-2 for the day, and that is not what you want to see.
Yeah.
But, I mean, any 0-4 dash heads in the chat, they are one map away from getting their first win of Contenders Summer Series, and that map was... that's one of the Circuit Royales of all time. Listen, if there's any arguments about being Contender streamed or not, people need to go back and look at the VOD on this one. 0-4 dash sub in their, I'd say, traditional hit stand player onto Ramatra, and he pounds. That was such a great map from Lukedstar, and now he's got to do it again. Will he do it on RAM? Will he do it on DPS? We shall see. But, Toasty, we have Sheer Cold with the map pick. Going back to it, they won Esperanza against Pitbull Storm, send us to a map 5, and I have a feeling that this might also be the case as well. It is not out of the woods for 0-4 dash yet. It's not signed, sealed, and delivered, as I was almost damning their fate 2 from map 1. Great turnaround from them. But what do you think goes on in the minds of Sheer Cold now as we head into Esperanza?
I mean, there's one thing that if these players are mathematically smart, they'll realize, which is that they're still technically not last place if they lose this, because 0-4 dash still don't have the map differential to beat Sheer Cold if they're both 1 and 5. So Sheer Cold technically aren't losing a spot by, you know, losing, just saying. But they won't be thinking about that. They'll be thinking about this Ramatra comp and how on earth to deal with Xiao now on the Ramatra. Not Lukestar, Xiao, because they want Lukestar playing the Sojin, which we saw Lukestar pop off a Midtown. We'll see if it happens here.
Yeah, and now taking a page out of 0-4 Dash's book and playing the Sombra. So in this neutral fight, actually, interestingly, no mate again for Sheer Cold, and I think it just comes down to how quickly Conley can charge EMP, and if Lukestar can hit these headshots, because if Lukestar can't find these picks, you would think Sheer Cold's composition with the Reaper is just going to run over Xiao as fast as possible.
For sure, as Sheer Cold poking and prodding a little bit. They have a little bit of a better position than 0-4 Dash have right now. And actually, everyone's just ignoring the Sombra in the backline here that Sheer Cold has. Just 0-4 Dash just pushing in the front line, seeing if they can get some damage through. But again, it's hard for Xiao to progress when there's a Sombra constantly in their back, being a thorn in their side, along with the offensive pressure that's being brought by NKZ as well. They will manage to get the spot back, though, and they'll turn it around a little bit. And NKZ goes down. That's a slip-up that they needed. 0-4 Dash now going to capitalize.
Yeah, the game of chess, just waiting for the shots to come in, and Lukestar finds a pair right at the start of the fight, finds a third, and they just were unable to keep going. They did not want to keep going for fear of picks coming in from the side of Sheer Cold, but time is just always going to be won. The long fight always winning for the side of Lukestar. Why? Because you get more shots with that railgun. Let's see. Do Sheer Cold decide to change anything up? But they find an early hack here.
Yep, early hack comes through. A bit of a mispositioning, I suppose, coming through there from the May. 0-4 Dash, though, not going to be too affected by it. The May still stays alive, and the Coalescence comes through up to the high ground to find no one. Everyone's on the low ground right now, pummeling down on the supports now. There will be continuation on the Coalescence there, but no real kills found from it. You got the Reaper and the Ramatra doing a bit of work here, though, for Sheer Cold. Some trades out, and I think Sheer Cold are fine with this, as it's going to get a late stagger onto the May, and the Sojin gets out, thankfully. Lukestar going to stay alive.
It was an early Coalescence, but at least it found space and sort of clumped 0-4 Dash together from there. NKZ and the Reaper could do all of the rest for Sheer Cold. They're going to be pushing this now under getting percentage on the barricade themselves. 0-4 Dash can come back with a wealth of ultimates. Condi not yet on EMP. 91% is not good. Zodjil, though, does have this Death Blossom here, and as 0-4 Dash have to rotate into him, it might just be all that they need.
Yep, for sure. Early Death Blossom comes through here from Zodjil, and I'm getting deja vu from the game against Pitbull Storm where they made that exact play, and it worked against 0-4 Dash. They're managing to stagger out Lukestar as well, let themselves get the bot moving, and they'll take the lead.
Yeah, 0-4 Dash were so clean with ultimate rotations last map, and now Sheer Cold are doing exactly the same thing. EMP Death Blossom, a light ultimate and a heavy ultimate, as I like to call it. One that is a fight winner, and one that is going to charge quick and can be very easily punished and shut down. But Zodjil's Death Blossom ensures that there is nothing wasted with that EMP. The Sheer Cold are going to take the barricade for now. 0-4 Dash, they are 30 meters, but this payload is so far away from the barricade.
Yeah, for sure, and now going to be Annihilation in the back line. A lot of damage coming through from this. It actually forces out the sound barrier. Again, Same can be said for Streba, though, who has to use it to keep NKZ alive. Muse goes down, and that's one kill that came out from 2 ultimates for Sheer Cold, but it wins the fight, so you can't complain.
Lukerstar gets a pick, though. It might be flippable here for 04 Sheer Cold, though. Still the true percentage, still going.
Oh,
Lukerstar finds a
no.
second.
How does Lukerstar keep getting away with this? Should be your primary target, the alpha threat in the cleanup of a team fight, but Lukerstar just finds 2 railgun shots, probably a third one here as well if they can get an extra kill. Nope, not quite, but the bot will continue moving back in the opposite direction. Still quite a bit of push there for Sheer Cold, though.
Good for Sheer Cold. They get a lot of percentage on the point, and as you get more and more percentage over your opponent, these fights become less and less valuable, and the more you have to commit to them, because ultimately they're just going to get the respawns. They're always going to win the split fights. Their ultimates are being charged. Yours are having to be committed to keep going, so the resource game now flipping back in favour. 04 have to start building on this barricade, and as I said though, Sheer Cold might just be able to flip tempo, commit this coalescence from the high ground and completely slam the door shut, and 04 trying to get percentage. Lukerstar?
Yeah, Lukerstar just gets caught out of position there. I'm not sure what happened, but Zodyol and Condi definitely happy to find those kills. Muse and Shao happy to find these kills, though, as they're looking to clutch it up. The armor bonus comes through from the Annihilation, saving Shao from the brink of death, and Streba goes down. Sheer Cold.
Wait.
They almost... Sure? Do they choke that?
No, they don't. Kill NKZ, it's massive. This is a great blizzard from Muse. This is potentially genius. He got second ice block as well with the wall. Oh my god. Okay, Muse and Shao in like a 2v3. Dude, Muse... This guy is such a good Mei player, actually. Like, the IQ of some of these walls and understanding how the fight is going to play out. Man, he's made some great reads here with these walls, Toasty, to just entirely swing the fight or cut any lifeline that Sheer Cold have down shut. And it's been big here now. Sheer Cold, sorry, 04 might just get, like, push point off this. He might get checkpoint.
Yeah, whoever's making these calls is absolutely insane. And yeah, another great wall to separate out some of the Sheer Cold players. Now we're going to get an EMP in the backline, however, as that wall fades. And it will be the cleanup coming through from Sheer Cold. You still get the beat coming in from Haku a little bit later than the EMP finishes. So they get a resurgence in the team fight. Shao ends up going down, but Streba traded out. And now it's up to Lukerstar to clutch up once again. Can Lukerstar find another couple of kills? Or even Muse at this rate? Just finding a couple of the Sheer Cold players would be all it takes. It doesn't look like that will be the case right now, as NKZ is contesting Lukerstar and forcing him back.
They're just going to focus down and force out that angle as they try and take the rotation around. 04 do have control of the high ground, but Sheer Cold have control of the barricade, and they've got the distance, which means they're not particularly in the biggest rush to get this bot back on the barricade. 04 though are. However, this poke phase, I think, will just benefit 04 when they're doing Sheer Cold. Have got basically all their ultimates, and Condi is like a mile off EMP at only 30%.
It doesn't matter because they're out of the fight. I wouldn't have been mad if they had the EMP. Shao finds that kill. 04 looking to play aggressive now. Follow up on their good starting pick. Will not be any ultimates invested, actually. It's just Lukerstar doing the cleanup. Yep, 3 kills come through. Lovely stuff. Don't even need to invest in Annihilation. Just that Ant Matrix, and that's quite expendable.
And with all the sustain of these compositions, not only does it mean that you're going to build up window lightning fast, as Sukrak has been doing this entire series, it means that when you get Lukerstar on this Sojourn through that window, the damage breakpoints have just been exceeded, and you can actually find kills. Members of Sheer Cold become squishy once this amplification matrix is deployed and your Sojourn is behind it. Great 1-2 punch from Sukrak and Lukerstar to get barricade control. 04 they're going to keep going. Condi has been found out. They've got a nice window here once again to address on the rest of Sheer Cold.
And they're going to do just that. Look at Shao going forward. Nemesis form on board. The Blossom in the backline. The boop! No! Haku, you had to boop him into the rest of your team, didn't you? What a mess up there. 3k coming through from Zodyol as a result, and a team kill to boot. 04 unfortunately just get griefed by their own Lucio.
I like the idea, but the execution was a disaster. Haku boots the Death Blossom into their backline, but great read from Sheer Cold though. There was an angle at which 04 should have gone in. It was soaked by the sound barrier of Strebel. Then they don't have it for the Death Blossom, and Zodyol responds perfect. Chess, ultimate matching Overwatch coming out from Sheer Cold. And once again, being able to walk this barricade back with the kill, with the distance lead, so huge.
Oh, well, Lukerstar just spraying and praying with this overclock. Finds Streba, so gets rid of the speed boost from this team fight. NKZ can't engage off that Annihilation because of it. Really good starting kill. Muse does go down, though, and actually, it's just absolute chaos. Lukerstar falls, though. That's a clutch player gone. Shao doing their best to try and stay on this bot, force away the enemy Reaper. and they go down. So that will be Sheer Cold winning out the team fight. Maybe didn't need that Coalescence, but it's good insurance nonetheless.
Just to keep it going, once again, I think now they're going to get progress back on the barricade. Ilpy's Coalescence is just, as you said, it's pure insurance policy, but great play from Zodgel to try and stall and stagger out the Nemesis form and the Annihilation that came out from Shao in that late fight. You'd think if he'd just ran into him, Shao might have had the upper hand with the damage, with the armor, with the power block, being able to stagger it out and shade in between these punches. But now Sheer Cold are once again all the way back on the barricade. They're happy to just push it all the way in and retreat. They're going to try and fight around this corner.
And it would be a good spot to Blossom, just hide in that corner, burst out and get that Death Blossom. The Nemesis form, sorry, going to come through from NKZ just to soak up all of that Ant Matrix damage. But they're just in the corner. They're just hiding in the corner now as the Blossom comes through. Zodgel finds Sucrax, finds Shao. How do they manage to make that work? They were clumped up as 5 in a 1 meter space, and they somehow win that team fight.
There was nothing for O4 Dash to do though. They're all in that tight room. They're all in that little box, but it's not a kill box. O4 Dash have no resources to do it. They'd already committed the window. Lootstar had to go forward past it to just find an angle in that room. Great read from Sheer Cold in the instant to realise that even though they're all packed together in that room with no resources, they're not going to die if they do it. There was no Blizzard from Muse as well. He's finally got it here. Ilpy, massive charge time on this Coalescence, so that was so quick. Muse going down, no Blizzard. It does come down actually, 1 for 1. Zodgel falling means O4 Dash, Toasty, they might have a chance to win this.
Yeah, Zodgel dies to the actual, like, ticking damage of the Blizzard as well. Very interesting stuff as Haku now, just goes down. Annihilation comes through. NKZ, maybe a little bit too overzealous on the front line there as Shao takes him down. Revenge kill coming through, and yeah, that's a bit of cleanup from O4 Dashes. Now it's in overtime. They've got about 2 or 3 fights to win, maybe?
It is 2 or 3 fights to win. They're going to have to walk this all the way back. They're going to get a fight to get on the barricade, and then from there, it's going to be 1 or 2. But Sheer Cold, they should be able to build up Annihilation if the EMP isn't just the mother of all ultimates. Condi can take his time. There is no need to rush. Just EMP Lukestar, just EMP Muse. One tap one of them, make it a 4v5, and try and win the map from there.
Oh, that is perfect. They catch them on the rotation around. Everyone else is on the bot. What are Lukestar and Sucrax doing in that position? I have no idea. But O4 Dash now trying to stay on the bot, trying to stall things out. I think it's a little bit too late, though. Haku has a beat to try and invest last minute. They put down the sound barrier. Shao stays alive, but the beat in response now from Streba means it's all but over for O4 Dash. Shao barely hanging on to life by a thread. Doesn't matter. Everyone's just going to fall 1 by 1. And O4 Dash, the mispositioning of Sucrax, of Lukestar, ends up shooting themselves in the foot. And now it's just a matter of time.
I can see why they wanted to split. They had the window to go, I believe, and they wanted to tail the composition so that they could basically play the range advantage that they've got. As Sheer Cold ran into the rest of their team with an EMP, but they got found out, they got stouted out, they got split away. You think, okay, if we clump up, then we're going to get EMP'd and then we're unable to escape and we're very squishy. But if we're not clumped up, then we're isolated and we're even easier targets. Great rotation from Sheer Cold. It was basically a 5v2 on that EMP. And then we're just going to be going to a map 5. Sheer Cold once again take a very nice win on push. And we're going to be going back to control. They did win it out, but I think O4 Dash have come alive in this series. And we're going to get, once again, a banger of a map 5 with the pick of O4 Dash.
For sure, and we did have word from the in-game chat there that it was actually Lukestar getting caught on a table when trying to move away. So I'm not sure what happened. Maybe they like used a Sojourn slide into the table. But either way, I think Sucrax would have gotten caught. I don't. There's like a little table on the outside like porch area. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I think I roughly know.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but that was. Yeah, a big mess up. Just a bit of map geometry, you know, messing them up. But either way, we get a map 5. Sheer Cold's 4th map 5 in 4 games, by the way, might I add. Sheer Cold just loves map 5s.
They are... What? So their win percentage on map 5s is now like 25%? Just 1 of 3, if I believe.
Well, they've played 3 before. This is their 4th one, so they've won 1 out of the 3. So they're 33% so far. They could make it 50% if they win this one. But
this is the Prage. Well, I talked about it last stream, the map 5 experience, but there might be map 5 nerves once again. O4 Dash have the map pick, but Sheer Cold coming off the map win. It was Sheer Cold, I believe, that picked Ilios. Yeah. It wasn't actually, it was Pitbull Storm that picked Ilios, because Esperanza was won by Sheer Cold. So exact same scenario as we're seeing here from Sheer Cold, as we saw last game. And Toasty, we're going to have to keep up the energy for this one. This is going to be a banger, but we shall see. We've had these maps dominated by tank games. I think, actually, Lutestar was really, really good on the tank. This map, he was definitely more quiet on the Sojourn. Shao, I'd say not really doing, to be fair, doing a lot on the Ram, but just kind of getting run at by Reaper, Ram, and Sojourn.
Yeah.
Such is the game of Overwatch 2 sometimes. Sometimes the enemy team can roll out on Reaper and Sombra, and your game as a tank player, unless you're on Orisa, is just kind of over. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way that the domino falls. The cookie crumbles, I think that's the saying. Sometimes, listen, the enemy team can take away your ability to have impact on tank, and from there it makes it really difficult to play. You have to rely on your DPS. Muse did make a better map, to be fair. That core was really good. His May is going to be important going into this final. But as you can see, look, sheer cold map 5s. That one win, but those 2 heartbreaking losses, that reverse sweep against, that reverse sweep for Team Peps and Pitbull Storm, that previous match. Toasty, who are you favouring here going into this map 5?
Well, given that our map has now been announced as Oasis, I favour Sheer Cold. I think if they can pull out the D.Va and they can make it work, especially that sort of D.Va Sombra Tracer style, I would love to see that. I think it could really tear apart a Ram composition as well. We've got a control map, which, I mean, 04 Dash just dreadfully lost on their control map. Not sure whether that's just them warming up or if they, just put Luke Star on Junker Queen and it wasn't the pick. I'm not sure, but either way, it's a control map, and by process of transitive properties or something like that, you're probably gonna get a weak map here for 04 Dash, unless they can continue playing like Luke Star on the Ram and just roll over them. But Oasis has a lot of high ground.
Oasis has got some maps with high ground, very rush centric. Winston D.Va very good on the Hanging Gardens map. I believe it's actually just called Gardens, but it resembles like the pillar of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, some ancient mythology there for everyone in the chat. But Oasis is always a map where historically there was variety. You could play dive, you could play rush, you could play ball, you could play double shield, and you could sort of get away with it on each of these individual points. So if you were strong on 2 out of the 3 compositions, historically you could get away with it. But here I would expect both of these teams to kind of just lock Ram comp or lock rush comps and run at each other, and best brawl wins. Let's see if I'm right.
Yeah, I mean, this is city center, so you could see maybe some D.Va using the high ground, right? Luke Star on the Winston, so not sure about it. I mean, it's good, you got high grounds, but I'm worried if NKZ and the rest of Sheer Cold, they can get that big sort of high ground that overlooks the point. Not the middle one, the one on the right side of us here. If they can get that high ground, they're pretty much set. Luke Star can't dive up without any support, so...
What Sheer Cold can do here is 04 Dash are on the composition that is most suited to this point, but Sheer Cold are on the counter to that composition, and they're on a comp that can anchor and live on an objective. 04 Dash are going to eventually have to touch the point. Luke Star is probably going to have to touch the point eventually, and when they do, I think Sheer Cold are just going to be waiting with NKC and Zodgel, as they've been doing all series, to run over the Winston on site. So I'd expect Sheer Cold to take the point, probably along this backside, to not peak this high ground that has been given over. It's on Sucrack, I think, to try and land a big anti-nade, and then the rest of 04 Dash should try and pile in on this collapse.
Yeah, you really just need a clean engage from 04 Dash to try and dismantle this. Condi's out, so that makes it a 4v5 temporarily, and that's 04 Dash's opportunity to go. They don't have the resources. Xiao ends up getting forced to translocate away, Muse is pushed away in the back line, and now that's Sheer Cold that are going to start trying to aggress onto the Winston. Luke Star forced to jump up, get off the point temporarily, and that Ravenous Vortex catches Luke Star out now, going very low. Sucrack's up on the high ground trying to keep them up, but no one can really contest that, right? No one from Sheer Cold can get up there and deal with Sucrax, deal with Haku, but still Muse goes down. Great punch there from the Nemesis form, and Sheer Cold will cap the point, so it's just a matter of time before the rest of the players on 04 Dash go down, I think.
And his pulse bomb is available though on the recontest for the Tracer of 04 Dash. Nano Boost going to be coming online very quickly, but as you said, it's a game of time for 04 Dash. The clock is ticking, and Sheer Cold are just accruing percentage for free. 04 need ultimates to blow up this composition. Their damage is too low otherwise. And Sheer Cold recognise that, and they're just more than happy to chill. As Coalescence comes in first, it gets harder now to kill this rush.
Yep, that nano boost as well comes through onto the Winston, so they managed to get an engage off that, but it doesn't matter. Shakehold just sit there, they face tank the nano boosted Winston. He also built up a primal from that fight, but it doesn't matter because they lost the fight.
Yeah, I mean, Winston, you trade Nano for Primal Rage, it's not good. Primal Rage is the useless against his composition. You're going to get hatched up by the Sombra of Shakehold, Condi, and then you're just going to get blown up anyway with this Reaper damage. Annihilation form up, AMP up, Reaper up. Great first fight for Shakehold. That was basically, what, 40+% for them pretty much, I think. Shakehold gets so much free percentage and so much free ultimates. It's a disaster. 04 Dash's Mayday, their Muse is bad to worse for them. They're bleeding so much ultimate charge, so much percentage Toasty. This is even in a fight, by the way. This was not even a fight. Man, 04 Dash, not a good start to their match play.
Yep, for sure. I think 04 Dash just need to reset now, try and get a last fight going, but Xiao does get staggered out a little bit. It means that they're not going to be quite there to touch. They might do, but it might be really close. Shakehold just need to use their ultimates effectively this fight. They can't just use them all at once.
Condi's done an EMP first, so let's see if they can drop it. They find Muse.
Almost finds them, but Muse manages to get away with the ice block. The Blossom comes through, and here's our observer feed has crashed.
It killed the Moira, though, at least. I think it probably would have killed one or two. Yeah, all white on the left side of the kill feed. We are back. And all of 04 Dash are blanked off the screen. The screen turned black, and it turned grey for 04 Dash. Shakehold didn't even need the EMP. It was just the Death Blossom they committed, Toasty. And 04 Dash, 100 to 0 on control. It's happened again. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board for the next map. The Shakehold 1 point away from securing this mini reverse sweep almost, being down 2-1.
Remember, though, the last time Shakehold were 1-0 up on the final control map of the series, aka literally an hour ago, they lost, yeah. Looking familiar to you, Jace?
Yes. Let's see if time is a circle. I've heard that the world is a... You know what? This isn't deep lore. It's not for contenders. There's no point doing this on a contenders broadcast. The hype is way too much. That was BPL style posting, but nonetheless, time might just be a circle. 04 Dash, though, is going to have to try and break the cycle. It looks like they have. Thank God, Toasty, that 04 Dash are not running out on the same composition. They've got Luke Star on the Ramatra and Shao back on the Sombra. This is when they look at their best on this rush composition to try and mirror.
Well, they're going to rotate all the way around the side. This is creative. You don't see teams going for this kind of rotation often, but actually the cut-off on a couple of players of 04 Dash there means that it's a bit chaotic over here next to the point. Just everyone just going at each other in a small room like animals. You got Muse and Luke Star going down very low, but same can be said for the entirety of Shakehold. Sucrax's lamp is forced out early low, so you don't really get that same value now later on in the team fight as you would if you had saved it. Either way, Shakehold get that first cap coming through. They're going to start walking onto 04 Dash as they do the exact same to Shakehold. And really, it just comes down to who gets the first kill. Looks like Blue Star is going to be the first one to go down, and that Coalescence will end off the team fight with a flash.
Oh, this is just a game of differences here. The difference between the HP pools, NKV was able to be peeled so much quicker. The more he built up Coalescence, Sucrax is not going to be winning in the short fight. Yes, he's built up a window, but LP builds up Coalescence first and then runs them over. Luke Star does have Annihilation. 04 Dash have got a splash of ultimates ready to go to be committed, but Shakehold have advantage once again, 32% on the point and counting. All the tempo control has to come for 04 Dash. They have to win, and they have to win quick, otherwise Shakehold all the resources to stall this fight out.
And NKZ is almost certainly going to pop this Annihilation as soon as they get it. Just go counter-aggressive onto the opposition, but either way, doesn't matter. Zodiol goes down early. They've lost a lot of their main source of damage as Condi is going to invest a Blizzard. They don't find anything with it, but they slow down the team fight pace a little bit. Both Mays go down, and NKZ's Annihilation now comes up big. Finds 3 with it. Huge Annihilation, but Luke Star bites back, finds one onto NKZ, shuts down the Alpha threat. And Shakehold maybe can still win this. They've got a Reaper against just Luke Star. This is an interesting duel. Let's see who wins this one. Luke Star just blocking all the damage. Can't quite kill off the Reaper. And Zodiol can Blossom maybe to try and win out this team fight. I don't think they're going to invest it. Yeah, bit too risky for them. But they kept the point through all of that.
And it's still going as well. They're going to get to like 85+% here.
Cole? Oh my word. They find the Cole. They find Sucrax. You're going to have to try and find Muse as well, though, who manages to take down Condi. Oh my goodness, no way the Sheer Cold managed to fight their way through this entire chaotic team fight. Muse goes down 5% to try and get back onto the point. Shao is going to use that EMP, but they end up dying. Haku goes down, the
Sheer
Blossom
Cold
to clean everything up. Sheer Cold, a flawless final round there on control to break the curse. They make their win rate 50% now in map 5s, and sure are they glad. 2 and 4 right now, so they're not bottom of the barrel anymore, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be... You got so close if you were 0-4 dash, but in the end, Sheer Cold on control. Just the willingness to keep going. The ultimates for 0-4 dash not quite coming up on time. Every time a big ultimate went down for 0-4 dash, there was no one else around. Big EMP from Shao, no one there. The Blizzard from Muse, he commits it late in the fight and then dies. Sheer Cold, though, excellent play to be able to stagger out this fight. I loved the cold commit from LP. It was risky, but just like Pitbull Storm did to them, they went for the ultimate, they went for the tempo, and they won in the end. It was 0-4 dash constantly on the back foot, constantly having to go off respawn after they lost that first fight. It just felt like the 0-4 dash could not ever get rid of them. They could not clean them up. Ice block into Cole, into Ramform, into block, into sound barrier. Too many resources. And 0-4 dash without their EMP did not have the damage to close it out. And I think the Reaper there in that final map, big difference compared to the Sombra. I think the Sombra provided, honestly, absolutely nothing for 0-4 dash. And Sheer Cold, how many times is it a Reaper 1v1 versus the Ram? And Zodjil was just able to clean someone up. Big pick for Zodjil. And ultimately, I think the reason they won that map.
And it's just the fact that team fight lasted from about, what was it, 25% up until 100? Like, that was one of the longest team fights I've seen.
About 43% up all the way
40,
until 99,
okay.
yeah.
That is just incredible. That's a long team fight to be having. That's 2 team fights worth of time, and it was all just Sheer Cold fighting through it, and they managed to clutch it up at the end. That's insane. I mean, big props to all of Sheer Cold for managing to actually keep their cool this time around. Unfortunately, they don't go 2-0 in games today, just 1-1, but they're pretty happy they're not going to be down there with 0-4 dash, who are now 0-6 dash.
Yes, unfortunately for them. But on the flip side, I will say, whenever a team clearly just isn't quite ready as a unit to step up to this tier, you can find some great individual performances, and whatever happens to the future of some of these players or the future of this team, probably disbanding goes their separate ways after Contenders. That's just the way it goes. But some great individual performances from all of these 0-4 dash players. And that's important to note, because it can be really easy to see these games off stream and just be like, okay, like 5 players not good enough for Contenders. But you've seen right here that they are, some of them at the moment, they've got sparklings, they are good enough to hang in lobbies with some veterans and very experienced players. And that's important to broadcast. But for now, we're going to go to break. We're going to potentially have an interview with Jaru or anyone else from Sheer Cold being on their Twitch channel, and of course taking the last win for today. Would have been a bit more awkward if they'd have won one, lost one. But we shall see. My name is Shazy, and you follow my social down there. That is Toasty as well. Thank you so much, guys, for the broadcast. We'll be right back with an interview, but if you manage to click off anyway, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, interviews will conclude after this short message. Don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back to the Sheer Cold official Twitch stream. The contenders for the day has wrapped up. Sheer Cold going 1-1 for the day. 2 map 5s, 1 win, 1 loss. But that dramatic win at the end, very dominant win actually. Sheer Cold 3-2. We got an interview with Hitstand Flex, Reaper Extraordinaire, Zodgel here. Very pivotal role you played in the last map on Oasis, Zodgel. So were you guys confident going into the map 5 Oasis?
Yeah, I mean, we were like pretty confident that we were like gonna win both games today, but the first game turned out like around a little bit. But yeah, we were like pretty confident today. So yeah.
Did you expect 04 Dash to be that
Oh
competitive?
no, not like me. I didn't expect them to like give it that fight, but yeah.
So moving forward, then you guys now sit at a 2-4 record, with I believe your schedule coming up to be it's not the hardest, but not the easiest as well.
Hmm.
Sort of when you go into these map 5s, it's Odjul, and you basically win one, lose one. Like, what is the mental like in the camp going forward? Like, do you walk out of the day thinking, okay, we were just one map away from going 2-0? Like, okay, you got Twisted Minds and EXO. All right, geez, that's a rough schedule. How do you feel about going forward then after today's games?
I mean, for me it's pretty tough because I am like salted from the first game, but I think overall we're going like the next day with head up and to win them, you know. So yeah.
Yeah. Are you potentially nervous of any players on or Twisted Minds to play into, or do you think you guys can give them a
Yeah,
run for their money and take them down?
we can win for sure. We'll like uh set up like games to play around, so we'll play confident in our own game.
Sounds good.
Well, I mean, you going forward, I mean, you're up against the top 3 teams. I
Yeah.
think right now. I mean, do you have anything prepped for them? Obviously, you don't want to leak your
Uh,
strats, but do you actually
yeah,
have anything prepped?
we have something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've got lots of odds you can watch over, so.
Yeah, sounds good. I guess my final question would just be, because I'm always interested to hear, like, what do you think of the meta at the moment? Do you think it suits you? Do you hate it? Do you like it personally as a team? Like, just give me some general thoughts on how you think your team suits this current RAM centric meta. Whether you love it or hate it. Like, let's say your opinion.
My opinion on like, you mean the Reaper stuff or?
Just the general meta right now, like
Oh.
these RAM Rush Reaper centric comps, yeah.
I mean, I'm more like a kinda this kind of guy, so I don't like love it that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's good for our team at least.
Cool. Well, I mean, yeah, you won today on the RAM comps, and I mean that
Yeah.
last Oasis fight was just incredible. We were actually saying that you were the one that clutched that up, but yeah, no, it seems like a good meta for your team. I want to talk about the previous game though, against the Pitbulls, right? Because I was expecting you guys to win against them. To be fair, it was a very close game.
Yeah,
what do you think? Like, what was the issue you ran into? Do you think?
Like the pause we had like for 5 minutes. We were like so head up onto the Elise game. We were winning, but then the fucking pause of 5 minutes. Yes.
Yeah. It just threw you off.
Yeah, totally.
Fair enough. Yeah, sometimes you can get iced. You're in the mindset, you're in the zone. You give the opponents a chance to recollect themselves. Well, if you have any final thoughts or quick shout-outs, Zodjul, the floor is yours.
I mean, I just want to say Viva España. Yeah. So.
Fair enough. Yeah. Did a great job at the World Cup actually. It was cool watching Team Spain play. So.
Yeah.
Right, well, thank you very much, Exodial. I hope you enjoy celebrating with your teammates. Congrats on the win today. All right, thank you. And Jace, anything to finish off before we head out from the stream?
No, nothing else. I'm going to have to nail the pronunciations of some of these less than standardized names, because I've definitely been butchering Exodial's name the entire broadcast, and I apologize for that. But we will move forward in the future. Yeah, shout out Timeless Broadcast Project. There'll probably be other games going on right now. Just check out the socials. I'm not quite sure what they are, but I'm sure they'll be linked on Twitter or nonetheless. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. That's going to be me and Toasty. We'll probably be back on your screens tomorrow, next week, sometime for sure in the future to cast more EU contenders. But till then, enjoy the rest of the show, enjoy the rest of your evenings. Take care. See you later.